Ladies and gentlemen, look, you guys know what time it is. We are back. I am Jay, aka the Moderate Texan. In here with me is the Exo Intro, the co-host of the Moderate Texan podcast. Exo, how you doing, my guy?
I had better days. But it's always a good day to be a fellow swarmer, a
We
fellow Texan fan.
facts. We've all had better days. It was not my best day, indeed, but I can tell you this: at the end of the day, we're still alive. We're still kicking. This is still H Town. We're still Battle Red. We still swarming. It's gonna be a great day, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not been here before, we are the Moderate Texan podcast. We do a lot of things, but mainly we review film of the Houston Texans. We get to tell you exactly what happened. We get to break it down for you piece by piece. Now, there are a lot of other people that do it out there as well, but they usually focus on one position, whether that be quarterback or they focus on one side of the ball, offense or defense. We're looking at everything, at every position, at every player, and trying to break it down and letting you know what happened. Because oftentimes what happens is some type of random thing gets brought up, everybody freaks out, and we're like, what happened? Well, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to look through the darkness, find that little bit of light, and bring everybody right back to the middle. It's been a long time, everybody. It's good to see you again. We're back for season 3 of the Moderate Texan podcast. We're here to see you again. We're having fun. We're loving it. How I know you said it was a long day. It wasn't your best day, but how has it been since we last spoke, since the playoffs from last season, EXO? How's it been for you?
Man, it's been a time. Man, it's been a time. Had some dark days, had some good days. But it's always a great day to be a swarmer. If anybody's going through anything, and anybody is anytime going through anything, feel free to reach out to any of us. Feel free to talk to us. We will be here for you at any point in time.
Indeed. Could not have said that any better for myself. Y'all can see it's a new digs for me. This ain't the same spot that I was last year. It's because I bought and sold my house, bought this new house. So that's why you're seeing a new look, a new spot. Shout out to Texans 22 who is in the room. I don't know if it's VT or if it's Leo that's hosting this. Probably VT. Shout out to you guys. If you guys aren't watching Texans 22, who's always here
If
for
you're not
you.
watching, you better go watch,
Yeah,
man.
you better be there fast. It better be fast. Um, Quick bit of information. You guys know what we do. We always at the housekeeping. All of our information, our social media, where you can find us, where you can listen to this podcast afterwards. You can see that down below in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube, which I think is the only place we're streaming at the moment. Feel free to reach out to us. We're always here, as Exo said, we're always here to pray for you. We're always here to just listen. We're always here for you. If you just want to figure out something you guys want us to run over a specific play, feel free to message that to us. Put it in the chat, put it in the comments, message us, email us. You can email us at themoderatetexan at gmail.com, I believe is what it is. It is down below as well. And we'll get back with you. We always want to continue the conversation. And lastly, put this in the chat as well. Put this out there in the comments, or you can email us, text me. If you got me on Twitter or Discord, put it there as well. Whatever you need me to pray for, put that out there, and I got you. All right. Before we be moving on, we got this thing here. We always start with a quick side note. As you guys can see, like I said, it's a new house. It's a new life. It's a new bit of stuff that's going on. You guys can see everything. New digs, Liberty Whiteout stuff happening, new merch going on, right? New area behind me. This is not the same place that I was last year. And it's also a new life. I'm not in the same job I was last year. I changed careers, or not careers, but changed jobs. I got new responsibilities, a new house. I finally am debt free. And I'll tell you something, because this is a quick side note, and I really want to get this out there because you kind of touched on it, EXO. I was very afraid to make this move. What's up, Leo? I was very afraid to make this move. I was very afraid to get into this new house. My wife and I were very not ready, but never be afraid of the opportunities that are in front of you. Never be afraid of the blessing that could possibly be there for you. Never be afraid to jump out of your comfort zone because you never know what's on the other side of that hill. You never know what's at the end of that tunnel. You never know who can be blessed simply by you just doing. Reach out, do that new thing because it can put you in a whole new level of things. I know Exo, we both kind of made some changes in life. Things have has been different, but don't be afraid to make the move. I don't know where you are in life right now, but don't be afraid to make that move. Don't be afraid to reach for the blessing. All right. I think it's time, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new way that we're going to be watching film today. It is via NFL Pro. So I'm going to share the page, which is acting funny right now. So bear with me as we get things going. As I pull up the first play. Before I do, Exo, you got anything for the people?
Not too much. Just feel free to talk to any of us. We're an open book. We're open people. We love to talk ball, but we also make sure y'all are good, y'all okay, y'all are mentally well. So feel free to always hit us up. And I know our motto. You may think it's wrong. You may think it's right. Whatever you think, let's come together and we meet in the middle. And so let's meet in the middle, guys. Let's see what this game had in store for us. Let's see a couple of plays, and we might have a little fun little segment at the end of the game.
Indeed, indeed. So let's look at this first play. It's going to go back and forth between the wide view and the tight view,
Love it.
um, because that's how NFL Pro works. But I want to start this off by saying the thing that everybody needs to know: CJ Stroud is him. Man slips and still gets the first down.
And it's
What's up,
crazy.
retreat? Craziness, right? But I want you guys to look at something from the wide view that I saw while I was watching this. Bobby Slowick drew this play up like a beast because if he does not slip, look at this right here. Look at this. This is an eke out as a if he slips or something happens, but this is opening up. That's open all right there. This play is a fourth down play that would have been a strike. And it wasn't like it wasn't blocked well. I mean, they did lose over here. But this was, I think, was supposed to lose because I think this was Stephon Diggs. And I don't know who loses here. We'll look at this. But this would have been a strike. Throw this ball to the 25. And we don't know how if he still be running or not.
And
What you
it's
think,
it's
Exo?
and it's a great play. We got a naked boot uh play concept where we're just trying to attack the aggressiveness of the defense. We see a lot of, as you can see, the flow of the linebackers. They were trying to eat up that run. Shout out to Joe Mixon. Shout out to the O line this game. If you was on the Houston Rundown podcast the other day, I kind of said it there as well. You We enforced our will on the O line, on the D line this game. Not as much as in pass pro as we would like, but in the run option, like we in the run game, we kind of imposed our will a little bit. That in comparison to what we were last year, I'll say that in comparison to what last year we imposed our will. If you kind of looked at all the rumblings and all the conversations after the game from the Colts side of the ball, they kind of said that hey, we watched the film, we looked at these guys, and we kind of understand what the Houston offensive team is going to be. They're going to try to air the ball out and have some run plays here and there. So they came in with the game plan of, all right, let's try to stop the pass, and they will have to run us to beat on us. And as you saw, we ran on them to beat them, and so it was a great look. And we have a simple tight double look on the left side with a naked boot option play to the right. CJ couldn't keep his feet. Shout out to the shitty turf field for the Colts. We'll talk about that at a later point. But he was able to have so much poise. It's crazy to have the poise and understanding of the game to still get that ball off. Shout out to also, let me go ahead and say this because I did talk shit to him a little bit last year with the play designs. We created a whole a whole segment in the show to take a fucking swing at the creating play designs on our own end. So shout out to Bobby Slowick with this beautiful play design with a late tight end leak. Last year at the beginning of the season, this play only has really three receivers on this route, that being Tank, Nico Collins, and
Oh, did I lose you, Exo? Did I lose y'all? Might have lost Exo there for a little
what?
bit. I think we're. Are you there?
Oh, I'm here.
You're back. I can hear
I'm
you.
here.
I can hear you. I hear you. We're good.
Great. What was the last thing you heard?
That there would only be three receivers on
Oh
this, and
yeah,
you said Tank and Nico, and I'm assuming you meant Diggs as the other one there.
Tank, Nico, and whatever receiver last year, whatever receiver they would have threw, that being Noah,
Mhm.
that be Robert Woods. So, but this year we have a actual threat of option in um, Stephon Diggs, so you have to account for that player on the field. And shout out to Bobby Salk for understanding that and having the wherewithal throughout the year last year and finally at the beginning of the year this year to having these nuances in the offense. Because last year, as you know, that late tight end leak wasn't going to be there at the beginning of the season. It didn't come into fruition until middle to late. So shout out to a beautiful play design on that, telling the Brevin Jordan, which I hope will have another step forward in his development and career, to block late, commit to the run, get the linebackers to bite like they did, and be option late there for CJ because he really needed that option. So that was a beautiful play design right there.
Indeed, indeed. I really wanted to point that out as well. That there was, this late leak out, kind of like we talked about last year. I'm fairly certain this exact same play we had talked about. This needed to be there.
Definitely,
But
definitely.
But another thing we're seeing here is that there are exactly five options available. You have Brevin Jordan, and we'll see it when we get to the wide view again. You have Brevin Jordan, who's the leak out, who ends up being the person who gets the ball. You have Tank Dell, you have Nico Collins, and you have Joe Mixon. Like, he's another option who's supposed to be there. Now, he's late. He's not going to be there right now in this particular play, but he is your fifth option if necessary. If
And
this
that's
didn't work and everybody was gone, he would have been there. And if he doesn't slip on the coconut husk grass that's there. Uh,
that's a great caveat as well. Say if this was blocked, not even blocked, it's blocked as well as the can on a naked boot play. On these type of plays, is these plays are not meant for a long period of time for the quarterback to have the ball in his hands. Is willing uh to go on the aggressiveness of the defense. So it goes into the he goes into all the zone beaters, all the tendency beaters of a defense. And they go big bite. These players kind of flow down. These players go here. So we're gonna hit you in where the play or the areas which you are going to be vacated in. So um having five or two late releasers in that play being Joe Mixon and Brevin Jordan is quite a savvy play design. I do say so myself.
I agree. I agree. Let's get this next play. This play, I won't lie, disgusted me a bit. Not because I thought that I was disrespecting the Colts as a team that could pass the ball and get deep. I respected Anthony Richardson's arm. That man has a cannon, and we all knew it, right? He's probably got one of the strongest arms in the league, top five easily. But what made me mad about this is we've seen this exact thing beat us in the past, where it seems like, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like there's supposed to be safety help over the top, and we
Yeah.
don't get it.
So what we have,
Um,
yo, go ahead, go
go
ahead.
for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
So yo, there's supposed to be safety help up top. We have a pretty much cover four look at worst. Let me see the wide view again, just because it doesn't even look like a match look because they didn't latch on quick enough or late enough into the route or at a point in time in the route to qualify a match look. So we got here a situation where it is a cover four look. We got four defenders deep back there, being two DBs and two safeties. We got Jimmy Ward at the beginning trying to throw a little disguise in there. I guess we're still going off the fact that we still believe this is AR's rookie year. So we're still trying to flood the line. We're still trying to give him exotic looks. We're still trying to make it difficult for him to decipher the plays. And so I like the I kind of like the thought process behind it, but it's poor execution. I was telling individuals yesterday, or the days after the game, and the day actually of the game, that I believe that this play comes down on Jimmy Ward, which everybody knows, but this play comes down to the arrogance of Jimmy Ward not respecting the play of Alec Pierce. And if you listen to Texas 22, be sure to listen to Texas 2 on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all social media platforms. Shout out to VT, Mojo, and the guy Leo. If you listen to that podcast, Leo has been one of the biggest bigness, I guess, what's the word? Town criers for Alec Pierce. And it being that he is a threat to defenses, though he may not get the ball as Leo says all the time, and as I had to go back and watch that. Yeah, he doesn't get the ball, but he is open if they do try to throw the ball deep. And as we know from AR, that's one of his biggest strengths. It's not that he can't throw it deep; is that he can throw it deep very well. It's just the medium to intermediate area and the short area is which causes the problems when he gets to the sideline and stuff like that. But going deep is one of his biggest was his biggest pluses. So you have a play in here in which he kind of gets arrogant and basically disrespecting a player, an NFL player, saying, "Hey, I got him. I can bring him up. I can take him up later on in the route, even though it's a deep crosser route." And so, shout out to Stingley for being one of the most athletic athletes in the NFL. For in a cover forward look on the numbers, he comes literally across the field to the other numbers to almost have a chance to break this play up. Even though that wasn't his responsibility, that was two whole zones he had to cross through to almost make a play on the ball. He still was almost there. Shout out to 95 is Barrett, right?
Yeah. Derek Barnett.
Barnett, right? So shout out to Barnett for bringing in some edge pressure. He's not a speed rusher off the edge. He's not going to dip below and run a hoop. He's just going to come at you with power. But he's a power edge rusher to push in that pocket and get Anthony Edwards off of his feet. But I need the interior D line to also come with that pressure to make it a little bit less fun. I'm looking at you, 94, but it is hard going against a double team. Oh no, going you is he going to use a double team?
Kind of. The
Yeah,
second guy never really touched him, Quentin Nelson.
gotcha.
Um,
So this is just a great play for a zone beater. Great, like one of the best plays we probably ever see out of AR in his career, or even just probably for this year. So great play by the Colts, and now went to beat us. But Jimmy Ward has to be better on that play. Like has to be. If Jimmy Ward's better on that play, this play probably wouldn't happen.
yeah. The thing I really want to point out, and you're right that Leo has been trumpeting the praises of Alec Pierce for a long time since he's been in the league. Alec Pierce kind of gives me. I'm not going to say he's Nico Collins because he's kind of a different player, but he's also got some of them same traits. He's a big pause. He's a 6'4", 6'5", 215-pound wide receiver that runs a 4.4, 4.3 40. We have one of those on our team in Nico Collins. That's what he is.
And it's
And he
crazy how
gets open.
yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
crazy how lifes. Because I've seen Alec Pierce Cole's hand when I was at my time at U of H when he was at freaking University of Cincinnati. He was like this for the University of Cincinnati. He's a big play threat. If you doubt him, he will make you suffer.
Yep.
And it's just
Yep.
crazy to watch it at first hand.
Yep. And this is almost exactly what we did to the Colts for the first play to win the AFC South last year and get into the playoffs. Pretty much the same play. But this is what we saw Nico Collins do before last year in the NFL. And we saw this with Alec Pierce. Leo is absolutely right. We saw this with Alec Pierce. He just wasn't getting the ball. And that kind of sucks because he wasn't getting the ball. He wasn't getting the ball, but now we're starting to see, oh man, he actually has that ability to burn us. Hopefully next time Jimmy Ward is better. Next game, Jimmy Ward is better at this and doesn't disrespect him like that again, because we can't have that.
And
That's no good.
we can have a conversation about Jimmy Ward after we like right before we do our play design segment.
Exactly. All right, next play. Things kind of froze up on me, so I apologize.
Cause I do got some words for Jimmy can't cover Ward. Cause ain't no way this happened multiple times during the game. But we get back to it later.
Yeah. All right, let's get to this next play. We can see up top it says Anthony Richardson sacked by Mario Edwards. This is there's multiple reasons for this sack. But this is interior pressure, or not interior. This is one of our interior D linemen getting to him. But one thing you want to look at my man Will Anderson. My man said, hit the weight room. Watch Will Anderson over here. Just watch. Watch what he does. Let me just take 2 men with me. Allow my defensive tackle to stunt to the outside and get to the quarterback.
For a player that was said to be slightly undersized, to have that much power inside that frame is kind of crazy. Shout out to D'Amico or Burt. I'm not even gonna disrespect D'Amico like that. Shout out to D'Amico for calling the late twist on that play, late TE stunt. Shout out to Mario Edwards for being a savvy D lineman, being a vet D lineman to know how to play that well. Because if you twist too early, tackle and guard are able to communicate or able to understand the flow of where this rush is coming from so they can get enough depth. Shout out to uh what's his name? You just said it. Shout out
Mario
to
Edwards.
no fuck. See, I've been thinking too much about work. Shout out to Will Anderson for providing that pressure and being that staunch of a guy to make Quentin Nelson have to factor you in into his pass set or his pass pro. Because at this point in time, Quentin Nelson has made several plays where he goes around the tackle to pick up a stunt. We have seen countless videos of people saying Quentin Nelson is a Hall of Fame guard because he makes plays like that. He has that much intelligence and that much play in him. And so for him to have to respect Will Anderson on that uh, pitch and twirl, there's different names for the T stunt, but you know you got the diver and then you got the swimmer. The Will Anderson is a diver, and Mario Edge swims around or loops around. So you got the diver and looper is another way you can say it. So shout out to Will Anderson for getting that much pressure and that much drive as the diver to pull in two people in order for Mario to run the hoop and get to that play. Shout out to who's the other interior lead D lineman for not allowing what's that 5? Oh, so they were
That's
Barnett.
Derek Barnett.
Love it.
We had one D tackle play.
Hold on, we got 4 DNs. One converted, one
Yeah.
converted DN to D tackle because he
Yeah.
decided to gain 10 pounds with his fat ass. My bad. We're on YouTube. But shout out to Derek Barnett for also being another veteran savvy for not giving up the lane. Because at any point in time, if he would have decided to pick a gap to dive in as number 95, I fully believe AR would have another gap to escape out of. So shout out to him for keeping that
Gap
front
integrity.
integrity,
Yeah.
keeping that gap integrity. Even though he's not supposed to, he kept it enough to make sure that other end rusher doesn't not doesn't does get enough depth so it turns into a full on coffin in that pocket.
Yeah. And keep in mind, Derek Barnett in this situation would become Danico Autry when he gets back from his suspension.
Oh, love it. And if we can get out to the wide view as well, I kind of want to see the coverage as
Hmm.
well.
That's actually what I was about to talk about next because we look at the sack at the beginning, but I really want to give a little highlight because AR cannot throw this ball. No one is really open, covered,
Crazy
covered,
matchup.
covered. There's the only thing that's really open is this, and that's all underneath. Technically, this would be a first down, but
Yeah,
he's already covered up.
a lot of this is covered up, or this is one of those moments where in the defensive room, they kind of all the players are arguing in the team meeting or the side meeting, like, was it a coverage sack or was it a regular one or was like. So this is one of the moments where do we give it to the DBs? Do we give it to the D line? Um,
It's a team sack.
it's the
This is
team
the
stack of.
whole team playing well.
This
This
is
is
what.
a defensive unit sack. Because
Mhm.
in this play, nobody in particular, besides really Will Anderson and Jalen Petrie, does actually a pretty good job in coverage. In fact, when he gets to the wide view again, you'll see Jalen Petrie does a pretty good job in coverage there. So does Aziz Al Shair once he kind of recognizes, then he pulls off. But that whole far side of the field from the camera, you'll see over here that this coverage is pretty good. And I think that's the side AR is looking to. But shout out to Derek Barnett for taking this pass lane away. This is a lane that's supposed to be there. And if he doesn't keep that integrity, can AR make this throw?
AR escapes out and just
Yeah.
plops the ball to one of the runner. So who's coming across in that drag again?
This is Alec Pierce. That's
So
AD
yeah.
Mitchell.
So if that lane was opened up, he's dumping that ball off, or he's going to that running that defender on the 33. Or not defender, that receiver on the 33 coming across. So there's yeah, got two delayed drives coming across just for like a little spacing concept. I don't appreciate Aziz being kind of late on that, but I get it. You're watching the quarterback's eyes during a pressure moment, so you already kind of know that hey, he's going to try to get this ball out quick. The only route that's pretty much available is going to be this drag because the other drags haven't came across yet. So I'm gonna carry this route to Petrie a little bit, but glad that we still have an inexperienced quarterback to not have that much poise in the pocket and to brace for impact. Because if so, a more poised quarterback is trying to get more depth, trying to break out the pocket a little bit, hopefully, and try to get that to that throw to that drag. But even if a more poised, savvier quarterback was there, I don't know that defensive pressure, that D line was there. That D line was about to get to him. So it would have been an interesting situation there if I said the least.
It indeed would have been. Nice little look here for y'all. Get to see what I see when I'm looking at plays. If you don't have it yet, go get NFL Pro, get NFL Plus. It is a phenomenal tool and helps you see stuff. Lot on that last play, and I think we had really good conversation. But I think it's time we celebrate a little bit further with points. Um,
Trying to see what the offense, man.
yeah,
Hey, shout out to. Let me go ahead and start off by, you know, this year on my account, I'm gonna go a little bit more heavier in the trenches since it all starts up front, as the name kind of states. And I'm gonna go ahead and start this off before we get to the divas, to the receivers, the other guys, the guys that's not really important. As a fellow O lineman and D lineman, the trenches is where it's at, and I gotta give it to the Texas O line on this play right now. Uh CJ can do jumping jacks. CJ can run the elliptical. CJ can do a whole hit training. CJ can file his taxes. CJ can teach a class on how to be a better quarterback in that damn pocket he was in. Because ain't no way my man's standing tall. He's smelling the roses. He appreciates the bullshit scenery of Indianapolis at this moment. He's having a ball because he got five guys up there that's holding it down. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was very worried about Titus Howard this game. He had some moments, obvious rust, and I know Leo and Bab from the Texas 22 chat would be like, ain't no fucking way he talking about Titus Howard positive right now. But I give credit a little bit that he held his own this game. He wasn't as much as a liability as I thought. Though Leo knows that being me and Moderate talked and saw yesterday as we watched the film the last couple of days that hey, out of all five linemen, the worst lineman had to be Titus Howard. But we're not going to talk about that this play. We're going to talk about how our O line was able to thud up against the Colts. They showed a lot of DRB tendencies, and I wouldn't call this a DRB line just yet. Hopefully, they can earn that moniker by the end of the season or even on mid-season. I need to see more nastiness out that line, some more savviness. But the one of the nastiest player at 69, I believe, or 59, I believe, is Big Dog Shaq Mason, Shaq Cannonball Mason. Um, he's a nasty mofo, and you will see a couple of times throughout the game. He leaning on folks, he's landing on folks, throwing people across the yard. So I gotta give it to big old Cannonball. And so yeah, you're right. I don't know if that's Leo or VT, but I
It's V because
uh,
Leo commented earlier, so it's probably V.
oh yeah, so yeah, you're kind of right. Um, with the how you said it in the Texas 22 chat, be sure to listen to Texas 22 for your Texans related content as well, and H-on Rundown and all the other wonderful Texans content creators out here as well. But VT was saying in the Texas 22 chat that hey, our bookends wasn't doing too well this game, and as a guy that's been coaching this shit, he's kind of correct. They didn't have the best game. I'm going to say it's more rust and more so that they just haven't played together like that. We have two of our highest paid O linemen that only played probably what a drive and a half of preseason football. Just to try to stay healthy, but in trying to stay healthy, you kind of miss out on that continuity and getting your body back into gameplay shape. So you kind of see it during this game. I'm praying and hoping that more rust is knocked off. If not, I might have to concede in the chat to Bab Leo and everybody that's been talking bad about Titus and Laramie and how about those fat boys should get off our team. I might have to just keep my mouth shut a little bit if they have another one of those poorly played games. But on this play, like I said, we're doing a full hit workout. We're doing Tybo. We can file a little bit of taxes. I can code a program real quick. I can teach a class on basket weaving a little bit in the amount of time and space that they gave my quarterback on that play, and I really love it. So, but that's my little two piece for the trenches. I'll let you cook a little bit. I just wanted to say our O line had them boys in hell a little bit.
A lot of bit. I got to give a lot of credit, and it kind of keeps blocking up on me here. Let me escape real quick and try to redo the play. Let me see if that works. Yeah, it is nice. So I got to give some credit here to Juice and KG there. Kenyon Green. A lot of us said Kenyon Green was out, like he was done. And Kenyon Green just does nothing else but win. Like he dominated most of the day. Absolutely, shout out to Kenyon Green. The guy went off. He had a phenomenal game. He had Grover Stewart wondering if he should have retired or not. I mean, the dude was constantly in hell. It was
It was
hell for
crazy.
him
It was kind of crazy.
all game long. Man's insane. Welcome in, Texas Shot. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. I can
It's
agree with the
shocking.
Titus and Tunzel thing here too, but go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna let you cook. I was gonna let you cook. I was just agreeing to you on your KG take. People wrote him off.
We wrote off Nico too, unnecessarily, and here we are. The film don't lie, as our old friend Jordan Texans thoughts used to say. It is the film don't lie. The people were good. They just They were young and hadn't put it all together
We
yet.
were young on a bad team, man. We were young on a
But
bad.
what I really want to do is everything's kind of frozen here. What I really want to point out on this play is that this play last year was Nico Collins getting this particular ball. Nico Collins, everybody thought he could only run one type of route, a slant, or really two types of route, a slant or a go. And that was all he could do. Or if you really wanted to mix it up for him, a sluggo, right? That was all he could do. And we saw last year that no, he actually can run the entire route tree, and he's pretty good at it. And he's really, really good at slant routes. We saw that on this play, Stephon Diggs was lined up outside, not in the slot, and he was allowed to literally slant directly into the end zone and run that same play Nico Collins was doing. It's starting to show what we talked about earlier, that we have those options now. We have three legitimate options that we can give the ball to. And that takes a lot of pressure off of CJ. And as Stephon Diggs said, the O-line dropped their nuts a bit so that we were able to, so that CJ could crochet, think about his taxes, decide how much money he wants to get from the Texans in 2 years, and figure everything else out. Maybe figure out world hunger and world peace and how to stop the war in Israel. He figured all that junk out before he could throw that ball, and that was craziness. Craziness indeed.
And it's actually quite, like, back to your point about it, like it being actually truly craziness. If we go back and like look at the draft uh
Acquisitions.
acquisitions after over the past couple of years, and we look at the off season pickups over the past couple of years, it's quite, and to see where this team is at, it's quite interesting to be like, we are in far greater shape than what we previously assumed, and it's a- it's quite not nerve wracking, but it's quite amazing to see. Like, all right, we might be pretty damn all right for the most part. Like, and that we're not compared to the Colts, we're not compared to the Jaguars, we're not compared to where the Titans are. We are in a position where by the end of the year we could be a couple of positions away. We are a couple positions. If we address a couple of positions, we're that far away from being a top five, top three teams, Super Bowl contender type of level. And a lot of people feel as though it's like that this year, but we're a year away from like, all right, we're going to be one of those household names. We're going to be one of those names that they're always going to throw in there when talking about teams in the playoffs, teams to be in the Super Bowl, just by happenstance. We're going to be, God forbid, like the Bills, but a couple years, the last like 5 years or 4 years, just like the Bengals, the Bills and the Bengals. The names are always just thrown in there because one, they got a guy, and then two, they got somewhat semblance of a competent team, and so we have a guy, and we're ironing out the somewhat semblance of a competent team right now. And so it's going to be a great year to watch ahead. It's going to be a great year to watch ahead.
Indeed, indeed. I do like this comment here from Texan Shots from my man Ahmad. Sloak was devious, switched up block assignments from the O-line on similar plays. Never seen anything like that. I will contend with that a bit. We have seen some stuff. We've seen him start to do this. We saw at the end of the year where a similar look would be different later in the game, which was allowing us to be a lot more dangerous offensively, which is why Nico Collins was able to roast people for 191 yards on 8 catches in a game. The Colts could never get comfortable against the run or the pass. Right on that. And they couldn't get comfortable against us defensively either. They, not just on their defense, but their offense could never get comfortable against us. And it's why AR goes 9 for 19. We want to talk about those 3 plays, but AR had 212 yards passing on 9 completed passes. 3 of those was a 60-yard bomb, a 50-yard bomb, and a 55-yard bomb. That's 170 plus yards of 212 in 9 attempts and 19 passes. That's crazy. But let's look at this particular play. Shout out to the rookie, Kalen Bullock. Man goes off, gets his first pick in his first NFL game. And yes, we can say it's a slip by Granson there, and that he should have caught that, and AR put it right on the money. I don't care about that. I don't care about none of
I
that.
don't care. I don't care about that. Like I said on every podcast and everybody that's talked to me about this play this week, hey, 83 Granson. Next time, don't fucking push off. Maybe you won't
Mhm.
intercept, the ball intercepted.
I'm not
How
even
about
gonna go
that?
there. I'm not even gonna go there. That's neither here nor there. I don't even care about that. What I want y'all to understand is this ball came out hot. This is not a slow pass. That is a beast of a pass, and that is a heck of a catch by our safety, our rookie safety. That's a heck of a catch, and that's what we drafted him for. We drafted him to do that. We drafted him to be able to pick off that kind of pass. Um, and of course, he doesn't get up, he doesn't run it all back, but it doesn't matter. This is what we
So
were looking for.
we got a 3-by-1 look, bunch look at that on the right side. So if you don't know, 3-by-1 look, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, you get a levels concept. Sometimes you get a spacing concept out of this, but most of the time it's a level concept. I'm hitting you at different levels. It's going to be hard to try to decipher at the beginning. Hopefully, you coached up your DBs. You practiced up your DBs enough to pick up things. But since we got this 3-by-1 look, you see the communication between the DBs down there. They're trying to make sure that gets parsed out. Shout out to D'Amico Ryans. I was always about to be mad at you if you made Derek Stingley be a deep safety again this year. Crazy concept. I said this last time. Crazy concept on playing a all Big 12 player at the position they won all Big 12 in. I'll say it again. Crazy concept. Wild to think. Play an all Big 12 player, an all conference player in the position they won all conference in. So shout out to them playing Derek Stingley back down in the box, down the lines, a place where he was comfortable, a place where he saw a lot of good plays, a lot of good play out of him right there. Um, Shout out to the defense, slightly playing this correctly. It would have been even more stickier coverage if 83 didn't try to push off of Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward, you got to be a little bit more sticky than that, but I get it. You're on the tail end of your career. Shout out to Caleb Bullock for emerging as a guy that's about to take that man's spot. But that's neither here nor there. Shout out to D'Amico for saying that's here and there. But back to the play at hand. Shout out to Bear Barnett for getting a little bit of pressure, making that timing a little bit quicker. Shout out to him being having the pressure so AR doesn't get his feet set, even though dude's alert, he doesn't get his feet set at all most of the time. Hence his inaccuracy problems. Uh shout out shout out to Henry Toa, formerly known by AD as Henry Noah Noah. I would never disrespect that man to say that wild ass statements. But shout out Henry Toa for carrying a running back wheel route all the way, step for step, in tow with Jonathan Taylor. Even though another quarterback might throw that on late in the year because they might watch the film and be like, all right, he doesn't commit at the end of the route. But anywho, shout out to him for even trying to keep up with Jonathan Taylor because he did, and I love it. Um, this is a great defensive play in the red zone. Like this is where teams win championships in. This is where you define yourself offense or defensive wise. Like who are you? When we get into the red zone, who are we? Are we a team that is going to lose and take it, or are we a team we going to bring the fight to the other team? Um, D line didn't have the best pass rush. They looked a little bit winded, a little bit tired, but it was enough. Shout out to AR for being a little inexperienced. Over time, he might get better. We don't know. People keep saying this is what we've seen, even though he only played 25 games, 23 games since high school. So it's been an interesting ride with AR. But shout out to our defense. Shout out to the look. Shout out to Kalen Bullock. He's about to get that C captainship by this time next year, hopefully. If not, he's for sure gonna be a starter by week 4, week 5. Um, we might have got a guy in the earlier rounds, man.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I really wanted to talk about Henry Toto, but another thing I really wanted to talk about that I think isn't talked about enough in this game. And I know we're a few plays in, and we've gone a long time, so stay with me here, guys. We didn't hear a lot about Michael Pittman in this game at all. Like Michael
Hmm.
Pittman was not really heard about. And on this particular play, Jalen Petrie's got him. But in this game, we really don't hear about Michael Pittman Jr. At all. And I think the reason for that is because we told the Colts we're taking that away. You can't use Michael Pittman Jr. And it worked. We forced someone else to beat us. Um, and I'm liking what we're seeing from the defense. I think it's going to get better. I think this team is starting to get better, and you're starting to see it play by play. That our team, yeah, we start kind of slow. The things are kind of iffy, but I think you're going to start to see this team pick up. And this is what we saw last year. We started a little slow. Injuries caused that, but we're going to start to pick up as well. All right, let's get to this next play here. Interception. Blah, blah, blah. Is this the one? Yep. Boop. All right. Got this 16-yard pass to Nico Collins here. Nico Collins is a slant god. I'm just going to throw that out there. Leo likes to throw that around, but Nico Collins is legitimately a slant god. I don't know if he's been beaten in slant yet. When he's running a slant, I don't think he's ever been beaten. He just wins. That's just what he does. He wins. But that's not the main focus of this play. I'm going to steal your thunder a bit, Exo, and I'm going to talk about two players here. Both of which we thought should be off this team. One is Kenyon freaking Green, and the other one is Dare Ogunbowale stopping EJ Speed from getting to the quarterback. He ate that hit like it's nothing. I need y'all to watch Dare Ogunbowale. Watch him just eat that hit. Giving his quarterback time, putting his body on the line. Watch Kenyon Green. Watch him say, oh, I'm going to start losing, but it don't matter. Get out the club. I'm going to reset. Watch the offensive line. Watch this team literally give your quarterback time to
Keep
hit the
preaching.
slant guy. Like this is what we were worried about. And yes, he got sacked 4 times. But when rubber met the road, when we had to nut up or shut up, you see what happened. We did what we had to do. We made safeties have to tackle running backs. We got first downs when we needed to. We worked the clock. We kept the pocket clean. This is what we've been looking for from the Houston Texans. This shows the patience, the championship mentality, what we're looking to see in a team that's not satisfied with the divisional round. We want more. What you got on this?
And it's crazy. Again, we got a bunch 3x1 look. We got, like I said, it's either levels or it's going to be spacing, and this we got a spacing concept, fellas. So we're attacking the zone. The zone looks they're getting. Oh, they did do a heavy set to the left side again. Look, like bro, what we're gonna talk about that later. Everybody remember this defensive front that you see. We're gonna go back to that later. They're I see you. Who's the DC for Colts? I see you, boy. I see you. I see you.
Gus
Anywho,
Bradley?
Gus Bradley? Oh, Gussie Gus, trash ass. That's what you good. But shout out to, I got started with my boys in the trenches, the trench warfare babies. Shout out to our guy Kenyon Green. Like I said, last year, rookie year, post, let's say Washington game, or what game he got hurt? Was it the Colts? It might have been the Colts game. His first injury. Post first quarter of the season, King Green is getting worked. King Green ailments are coming home to roost. His body's coming home to roost. His overall physique is coming like his overall play is coming home to roost. His first year, first 2 years, King Green getting work this play. We all saw it. We all need it. We all saw it. We all know it. So watching this is kind of great. We watching the O line pick up a full out 5-on-5 blitz, a man on man, big old pressure. We watching, like you said, Dario Gubawale show why he's still on the team after what, year 4, year 5, year 6. Like he's gonna he's gonna mess around and be a Texas legend at the end of this. Like if he keeps doing what he's done, he's gonna be a Texas legend at this point in time. So you watching him in pass pro. I know people saying, "Where's Cam Akers? Where's Damian Pierce? Where's Joe Mixon?" It does not matter. We need guys that block on the big time downs. It is what? Wait, was it fourth down, third down, whatever
It
down?
is
We
third down and like 12 or something like that. We'll see in a second because it'll show it
yeah.
when we see
Oh,
the
third.
stat
It's
line.
third and five. It's
Yeah.
third and five. It's third and five with 23 seconds left. We're trying to move the ball down so we can get some points to the board before half.
Yeah,
So
third and
it
five.
does
Yep,
not.
there it was.
So I love it. I love the play. I love the tenacity. I love our line giving CJ enough time to decipher and make a decisive look. There was definitely probably other players open on this concept, but hey, we needed a first down, and what we do, we got it. So shout out to the old line for giving my quarterback enough time. Shout out for Dario Gubawale for giving CJ that half millisecond, point 0.5 of a second to do what he needs to do to make this play happen.
Indeed, indeed. Um, and really, I mean, we know all the other stuff, right? We know all these amazing players we got, all these really, really cool things that we get to see from the offense. But at the end of the day, it's plays like that we get to look at and say, man, this team can be really, really good. But this next play, CJ, I have words for you, my man. I bet never to see this play again. Never do I want to see a throw like this again. I understand he's under pressure. I understand some offensive linemen lose the rep, particularly Titus Howard. He gets spun around like a top. But please, dear God, if you're going to throw this ball out of bounds, throw this ball out of bounds. Good grief. I never want to see that again. But we need to talk about Titus Howard on this play because Titus Howard, everybody else on the line did their job except for Titus Howard. To the point to where I'm gonna let Exo talk about it. But Shaq Mason dominates on this play.
Oh, this
Uh,
is the yeah. So I talked about this on the rundown as well. So this is another boot. It's another boot play, fellas. It's another play. Like I said, doesn't have that much time. We don't have that much time to make this play. So the reason why I told Jay that this is kind of on Titus, he just has bad veteran savvy tackle play. Even as me, as a person that didn't play much college ball, I knew in high school backside tackles have savvy tendencies and plays they can do on the backside of a naked boot play. You know that you're just supposed to flow, just like on a stretch play, but just like on a stretch play, it's a it's a savvy play where you can clip. It's called clipping. We called it clipping the wing. So to clip the wing, just like if you any of y'all that's watching right now played basketball, where you go and go for a layup, and you got a defender and his arm is next to your arm, you can kind of clip or hook that arm as you go up to draw the foul or to make sure that that arm doesn't impede your shot. Same thing, same type of thing that can happen here. Titus Howard rushing left. I'm gonna turn my body left. We're going 45-degree angle, 90-degree angles towards the quarterback, ends up backpedaling for some fucking reason. But he can clip the arm or clip the wing of the defender, hold his arm, and as soon as he starts to fail, just let go. All you gotta do is let go. And so he just misses out on that savvy moment of a play where he can provide an extra second, second half, 2 seconds for CJ to make that play. Because if he does give CJ an extra second, his defender is the one that's causing this pressure. His defense causing this timing to be off and causing him to make that dumbass play that he wants back. But he just needs to be playing with more savviness. If he does the savvy veteran thing I know he can do, he probably has had a mental lapse. Clip the wing, grab DeForest. That's probably DeForest Buckner, right?
It
Grab his,
was, yeah.
grab his, yeah, grab his arm, clip it, bring him down. Not even bring him down, just bring him down the road. Take a couple of steps, 2, 3 steps. Those 2, 3 steps is an extra second or two to make CJ have the ability to throw the ball somewhere else. And if you do that, give a second, he probably has another receiver down the field he can analyze and throw the ball to. I probably
I,
gotta watch the wide view real quick. Let me see Stephon Diggs, but go ahead as I
I was gonna
watch
say, if we look at this play, really no one's open.
Stephon.
Stephon Diggs, he's open,
Late.
but it's because he's open on the other side of the field, and it's kind of as the play's already broken down in the backfield.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we're going after the quarterback. He's not going to be throwing this way. Like he's open because it's like, oh, it's already done. Now, if this play had continued and DeForest Buckner gets stopped, 44, man, you messed up because you just let Stephon Diggs run by you, and that's a touchdown. I don't know what you're doing, but you still got the safety up there. But still, it's that play has to be better, and honestly, the Colts were teed up and ready for this. It seems like they were just ready for it. And this is what we see in the end. Luckily, we get away with not throwing a pick and we get a play after it instead of it being a interception. Let's go ahead and let's get to this next play real quick. Got to get to the right play so I can know what I'm looking for.
So we can watch greatness, man.
Yeah. Take that. Okay. I gotta find the play. Here it is. I think this is. Nope, it is not this play. Wrong dude. This is hard to read sometimes. I apologize, y'all. Make sure. Mm-mm. No. It's third quarter. You know what? I'm just going to do this. Cool bit of information you can have. Oh, dang. I just messed that up badly. Messed up. Took away all my stuff. We're going to talk about... Nope, not what I wanted again. Still learning this stuff, guys, so I apologize again. We need to get team game is week 1. Houston at Indy. And then we need to... We've got that. All the filters disappeared.
Please pause for technical difficulties.
Yeah, please pause for technical difficulties. Okay, let me look real quick.
What play we on?
Third quarter. Perhaps. We are on the Tank Dell. The third quarter, the only third quarter play.
Okay.
Incomplete pass to Tank Dell. You know what? I'm just gonna search for it. I gotta search for it. It's just gonna have to happen.
You said Tank?
Yep.
Tank Odell. Fifties.
This one. Found it. Got it. We in business.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. All right. I think this is the one. Here we go. Yes, it's this play. So,
I wish she would have hit Nico. I really wish she wouldn't have hit Nico.
So the thing that I really wanted to bring up with this particular play is it's unfortunate, but this you could tell that our number ones, our first team was a bit rusty. That they came out one. This was our worst game together as the ones. And it's gonna be. Oh no, hold on. I keep forgetting that this stupid autoplay thing works. But we can tell that the ones were. Oh come on. That the ones were not fully into it yet. Hold on, let me get back to the play real quick. I think this is the play. Yes, it is. Okay, good. Because CJ Stroud normally would have thrown that for a touchdown. Like last year, that'd have been a touchdown. What the heck's going on here? It's the same play, but it's still the wide view. Okay. And you could tell he's just a little bit off. I think I heard Kurt Benkert or QB School say this best is that if he had thrown that a little more inside, a little more towards the hash, instead of at the numbers, instead of directly at Tank Dell, this gives Tank Dell more room to catch the ball, which is true. But also you have another receiver that's or not open, but available in Nico Collins. So it's not like we have options here. And you can also tell the Colts were out for blood. They were ready to end the trash talking that CJ Stroud had been putting up all off season. Oh yeah, Nico burned them. You should have given that to Nico.
No, that's what I said. From the when I saw the play, I was like, "Oh, he's going to hit Nico. Why is he throwing the tank? Why is he throwing the tank?"
But Tank was also open. He just if he needs to put that ball in a different location, I think he thought similarly to what happened with Nico on that 50-yard pass, 57-yard pass that he had to him earlier in the game. I think what ended up happening there, where both Colts defenders didn't have their head around yet, he was thinking, I can fit this ball in there because their head won't probably be around. But what we see is that Kenny Moore's head has already turned around. His head is looking back. And so when he lets this ball go, like he's looking for the pass. So that's not Kenny Moore. Actually, it's whoever that DB is ready for the ball, which is probably why it didn't work as well, because he never actually takes his eyes off the quarterback. He's looking back in the backfield the whole time while running. So I think that's why that play didn't work. It probably should have gone to Nico Collins. And this is where you could tell that they're not as sharp. What you got for me, Exo?
I got once again, if you need your taxes filed, if you need your homework done, if you need me to walk your dog, if you need CJ to detail your car, if you need CJ to lecture a class, he has time and is available. Let me say it again. If you need your car washed, if you need your taxes filed, if you need to edit videos, if you need to lecture a class, if you need to watch a play, we got time and space for you behind the Texans passing goal line because boy, 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 look at this beautiful, beautiful moment. And you know why CJ's pissed? Because he had time and to throw it to another guy. Because I know he's pissed. He like, look, ready?
1,000,
1,001,
2,
2,000,
1,000, 3,
3,
1,000, 4,
1,004,
1,000.
1,000. Like what? And he had extra seconds. He just like, oh, let me get the ball out. Let me go ahead and do what I need to do. Because this doesn't make no sense. Shout out to again my O line. Once again, shout out again. Late release by Dalton Schultz. A little bit, little leak. Oh, a little savviness too. And so, shout out to those guys for making it look easy. Shaq Mason again. Where are you going? We are throwing boys out the club. Again, look at my guard play. Look at my interior. They're asking the interior of the Colts, where are you going? What do you think you're about to do? Shout out to Juice Scruggs. Shout out to KG. Shout out to Shaq Mason because we're looking at your interior O line and D line. What are you doing? You are going nowhere. You could tell him to move over. You could tell him to be a shade. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to affect anything. So again, shout out to my guys in the trenches. Like I said, I'm gonna be a little bit more heavy on my trench life this year on my account, and when I be talking, because boy, I like to give credit when credit is due. And as a fellow lineman, we know we don't give credit, so I'm gonna give credit to the big boys up front, because boy, it's fucking beautiful. Also, shout out to Nico Collins. He's getting up there in those savvy receivers where every route looks the same. I want you to know a receiver gets very, very dangerous if they can make every route looks the same. The way you run your posts is the same as the way you run your comebacks, just the same as the way you run your slants, your 5 yard ins, 10 yard ins, 15 yard outs. If you run the route tree looking the same, you become a very dangerous player and contributor to the offense. And he's getting up into that level of which you could do that. Also, if you can go back to that play, I don't know if he got it up. Shout out to Juice Scrubs for making Latu like a lady to look like somebody I don't need to know who it is. Cause boy, he had that boy in hell in that play. First of all, it's a replacement block. So you know what we're gonna do. I gotta bring my fat ass all the way over here to block somebody because it's an exotic look. I brought my ass all the way over there just for you to do nothing, Latu. Just for you to do nothing. And
and
I love
and let's not forget that Juice made mistakes in this game,
he did.
but
He definitely did.
he made mistakes. But these are not people that we're talking about are supposed to be bad, right? These are good people. Like these are good players, and it ended up that it did not matter. Uh, it did not matter at all. All right. Uh, I know I chose Joe Mixon here. Oh shit. There we go. All right. This is why this is pretty good. Love this app for this reason and this reason alone. All right. This play really wanted to show one, our O line works well, but two, Joe Mixon is shot out of a cannon here. And I love the little dance at the end. But Joe Mixon definitely is a different. He's different. He's playing at a different level in this game. This is not the Joe Mixon we saw last year, where he was getting stuffed behind the line of scrimmage and he didn't look very good running anymore. This isn't the one we had questions about. This is oh my goodness, this is a different Joe Mixon. Let me go back to that play real quick because it just decided to autoplay. But you can see Joe Mixon. My gosh, speed. Look at Brevin Jordan on the outside blocking. Look at the O line pulling and keeping everybody just off. Look at Dalton Schultz blocking, something we said he couldn't do. VT, I know you're in here, and I know you're one of them dudes saying that man can't block. We all kind of
Oh,
were.
me too. Your co-host did. Your co-host
Yeah,
did
we all
too.
said it. We all did
I
too.
thought he couldn't block. Oh, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say my analogy. But anywho,
Yeah.
I thought he was worthless. I thought he's just a guy to just occupy space, just to get in the way. Essentially, he is as a tight end. But last year, I felt like it was an abysmal effort. I, for game one so far, he's showing me, hey, I'm one of those guys out there, fella. I don't know who you are, Exo Intro. I don't know who you are, Moderate, whoever you bum fucks are. But I'm a guy in the damn NFL. Yes, I make video games and play all day, but goddamn, I know how to play this game well. And hey, Dalton, big guy, big Schultz, big Schultzy. My bad, big fella. My bad, OG. I
We
wasn't familiar with what Shaq say? I wasn't familiar with your game, big fella.
yeah, I wasn't familiar with this game. I apologize. I'm gonna
Cause
apologize. I'm gonna apologize to Joe Mixon for this play too, because Joe Mixon, he's got two plays here. In this particular play, Shaq
also,
Mason needs to write the apology here.
yeah, he does. But also, my bad. Even though I was giving all the credit to KG, this whole game. That was one of KG's bad plays. Not this one, but the goal line stand slip, damn near went into a full split. Almost fucked the play, but shout out for us to having a guy to do something. I also on this play, Shaq Mason might be able to write an apology, but Shaq Mason only give it 2 sentences or 3 sentences. Because boy, shout out to Kenny Moore for being the best slot corner in the world. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, if you don't like really visualize or see savvy football play on the field, he did a fucking savvy play as a nickel corner, as a nickel defender, as a guy that's not trying to get bulldozed by Shaq Cannonball Mason. And I'm gonna start calling him that all year, Shaq Cannonball Mason, because he's like boy. So he's not trying to be a highlight tape for Shaq Mason on this play. So to play this as a DB, they tell DBs, even though you're not supposed to do this, you give up depth, you give up that space, because what Shaq don't know what the hell to do. As you can see visually, he's out in open field. He knows who he has to get. Outside defender, first one comes, you take him home. You throw him out the club. O-line coaches, we're on the screenplay, we're out in the open. First one comes, you pretty much follow the numbers. That's where you usually do. Follow the numbers. Your numbers is your wall. Once you get to the numbers, the defender that comes, you take the most pertinent man. You took the most pertinent man, he got you thinking. He got him thinking. He didn't know what to do. Do I go right? Do I go left? Do I go right? Go up? Go left? Up? Right? Left? Up? Right? Doesn't know what to do. But he was there. Shout out to I gotta give it to Kitty Moore. You earned your fucking paycheck on that goddamn play because that was a savvy play and you made the tackle.
Yeah. Kenny Moore, you got to really give some respect here to the Colts defense because what they were doing was causing confusion in their plays. Because right here, his backing up and forcing Joe Mixon to make a decision allowed Shaq Mason to not be able to make a choice, not be able to go out there and immediately look for work.
Hmm.
Great play by Kenny Moore there. Really great play.
But fuck
But
him,
Shaq,
fuck the Colts. Great play
yeah,
by our guy Bobby Slow. Shout out to Bobby
exactly.
Slow for calling the screenplay. What? They said, "Hey, Joe, get out there. Get out there and make some shape." And he did. Shout out to the O line for getting to the right rush lanes, to the right escape lanes, and getting out there first, second, and third level to getting on some DBs, third level defenders, second level defenders. Shout out to backside, grass side O line play for providing enough time for CJ to get that ball out. A lot of selflessness happens in the trenches that people really don't know about. Guys don't even know half their own lines names. So shout out to the guys that provided CJ enough time to make some plays. Shout out to the and later on in the year, I'm gonna do a highlight tape, hopefully, over tight end and wide receiver blocking play. Things don't work if everybody don't block. As we saw last year in the run game, things don't work if people don't block. And that's not the five guys up front. That's the tight ends. That's the receivers. That's the fullbacks. That's even fucking halfbacks. If people don't block correctly, people don't fit up correctly, things don't work. Even on the granular level, if people don't block correctly with the proper form and technique, things don't work. But back to a new play, because my boy Stephon Diggs, who I got on fantasy, that got me 20 points. Shout out to the two tutters. He was cooking. I don't need like people saying I don't need all the fucking targets in the world. I don't even need all the catches in the world, all the yards. I want to win. I want to contribute to the win. People call him a diva wide receiver. No, he's a wide receiver that knows he's good. And if you know I'm good, put the ball in my hands so I can help us win. I don't know if anybody played sports with players that's like that. It's very weird. It is, but you understand their plight. I'm the best person on the team. I'm one of the best players on the team. So why don't I have the ball in my hand? Tell me why. Same thing at the Bills. Same thing for the Vikings. Vikings, I'm the best player on the team. You think you about to give the ball to geriatric Adam Thielen? Huh?
Hmm.
I'm on the Bills. I looked through the wide receiver room for the Bills for the last 5 years. Who? Who you throwing the ball to, Josh? Other than me. Who?
So I understand. I understand his play a little bit. So he's a very passionate man. He gets open. King Green, I need you to not make mental mistakes and not remember that you're the alert man for the center because we're playing in an away game and it's very loud in that stadium. So I need you to not have a mental lapse like that within the 5 yard line. Having CJ to walk up, tell you, hey, hike the ball. Just for him to throw a touchdown. Because boy, we got a guy in CJ. And I'm gonna sit back and let you cook for a little bit because I'm about to walk in the room and see the greatest of what CJ did this play because he had to tell somebody to hike him the ball, get the ball, and throw a dot.
Easy peasy too. I think what also needs to be addressed here is, again, the line gives time. You didn't need much, but they gave time. Because this is a quick play, it's a quick hitter. That's what you're looking for. All we're looking for is give CJ the ability to win. And we see what happens when we do. We see what happens when we do. Now, I hate to do this to y'all, but we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it because, by God, he let it happen again.
Oh,
And I'm
oh.
mad about it. I'm mad about it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm mad about it. If they have 6 people on the line there? Nope, they only have 5. Come on, Jimmy. This time he didn't have Stingley to give him that out. So again, disrespected Alec Pierce's speed, disrespected his height. Thought, oh yeah, I got it. Come on. Got to be better than that. Got to be better than that. Got to be better than
This
that
the other one. This
indeed.
the other Jimmy one.
Yes, the other Jimmy one. Yep.
Gee, again, Alec Pierce. I don't know if Leo in here, but VT, be sure to tell Leo, hey, they was talking about you, and they was talking about you being Leo Damas. Pointed it out.
Mm-hmm.
Pointing it out. Also, AR didn't throw this man in stride either. If we threw him in stride, that's Tutter. He had you beat by 5 yards. Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
I want to address this comment real quick. If Jimmy doesn't think that Jimmy, I know he didn't play him in the first or second. He didn't play AR at all.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't.
But we knew AR had that because he watched the ball fly 60 yards in the air for the first touchdown. He's got to know this guy has a cannon. And he also knows that Alec Pierce beat him the first play. Like, you're inches shorter than this man. What is he, 5'10"? Jimmy Ward's 5'10". You got to respect this dude's speed. You got to respect it. This can't keep happening. And teams are going to key in on that and realize, man, I can attack Jimmy Ward with my speedy guy that's kind of unknown. Colin Johnson is going to feast on this man if he plays because of the injury to Roma Dunze.
Also, also, we might have to guest appear on Texas 22 because I gotta talk ball with my boys Mojo and VT and Leo because I know they talked about this second group D line not being as ferocious as the first group because look at this play again. We're 5 wide. We're empty. We're an empty look. And who do I got there rushing the ball? I got one. I got one guy. I got Will Anderson that went head first into a D tackle because he tried to do a power move once again, which we gotta talk about. Will Anderson gotta, you gotta fix that bag. Great pass rushes, Von Miller and fuck, who else said that shit? Von Miller, somebody else. They say you don't need a lot of moves, but you need 3. You need to do 3 moves very greatly. And one of the moves you can't do in the NFL because everybody's fucking strong, Will, is a power rush move. So you got to figure something else out. William Bernard Anderson the third, whatever.
This
Like,
is
bro,
funny. I'll say this. I'm not going to give that all to Will because it's another stunt.
yeah, it's a
So
twist.
So
But
yeah, he's doing his
he's
job
supposed
and
to knife.
occupying,
He's supposed to
but
knife. If he
but
can knife at a diagonal, he go give me more than this. As soon as he he didn't get first, so he didn't get deep enough in the twist. So in a TE stunt, if you think of it as a parallel box and you say, let's say 7 inches at inch 3, that's where the D tackle needs to be. But the at inch 5.5, 6, the end needs to be there. And that's when you initialize the twist where the end knifes in and pushes the tackle into the guard, and then the D tackle rolls over. These two hit each other at the same mesh point and say fuck and realize we still gotta do the twist. So Mario Edwards rolls over. There was bad depth in that TE stunt. And so
mhm.
with a bad depth, that helps out an O line to able to decipher, oh, actually it wasn't even that bad of a depth. He got chipped. So I take back my statements. My bad, Willow. My bad, OG. You got fucked up at the beginning of the play. But I will tell my number 3 overall pick last year, he shouldn't let a tight end do him up like that. But to each is their own.
Yeah, he should not. But it is what it is. We know how it goes. Um, we're moving on to the last play where we're running out of time here. We know this play, and I'm bringing this. I don't know what the heck just happened here because this play is supposed to have loaded. What the heck? What the heck? Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, it works now. All right. We know this play. For those of y'all Nico Collins haters that still believe he needs to prove it another year, he didn't earn that contract yet. I'm gonna need you to shut it down. I'm gonna need y'all to stand down. People who haven't proven themselves don't make this catch. This catch is crazy. This is an elite catch. This is one of those catches that they're going to be talking about for weeks. That he caught the ball, had the wherewithal to get his knee down. He might have got both toes down. And this was with a hand in his face. This is craziness. But shout out to the offensive line, too, for giving the time to make this throw. For giving the passing lane to make this throw. To Bobby Slowick for dialing up this play. To Dario Gumbawale for once again putting his body on the line and taking the hit from, who is it this time? 33? No, who's he block? No, he takes on 94, a D tackle. We got to give credit where credit is due. We're handling stunts better. This is stuff we weren't doing last year. We're handling stunts. We're not allowing people to get to the quarterback. CJ wasn't even touched. Like, this is insanity. You said it right, V. My jaw was wide open. It reminds me of how Troy Aikman responded when CJ made that amazing throw last year in the last game versus the Colts, in which Nico came back and caught the ball. It's another one of these. But this one's even better than that one. And I don't even know how we got that. We again got a better play. What you got on this, Exo? If you're here.
Yeah, I'm here. I was again standing back with amazement because this is crazy. Mind you, 3rd and 11. We're still in a tight game. This kind of decides the next momentum shift, the next momentum wave, the surge, and where this game ends up. This is one of the biggest plays of the game, and I shout out to what's his name, number
40?
89, no 89, lad,
Oh,
2 years ago versus the Colts right before overtime.
Jordan Akins.
Shout out to Big Ake and Davis Money Mills for those guys to win that game, to put us at number 2. Shout out for David Tepper for being one of the worst owners in the league. Shout out to Ryan Poles for being one of the most vindictive assholes as a GM. Shout out to Coolidge Bernard Stroud because we got a guy, guys. We got a guy.
I mean,
I don't think you'll understand. This is where games are won. This is where playoffs are cemented. This is where and when you can hoist, maybe not hoist up a Lombardi trophy. Because if you got a guy that can make this fucking play.
look.
Look, like where as a defensive back, as a defensive back coach, as a defensive coordinator, what you telling your DB? You telling him he did a bad job? You
No, you
telling him
can't.
you
I'm
tell him,
not
oh,
saying.
you should have did this, you should have did that. What you telling them? Go ahead.
No, that's a good rep, coach. that's all good. That's good rep, 40. That's a good rep. That's all you got to say. There's not. That is the best coverage you could get on this man.
And I'll let
The
you know right
best
now.
coverage.
I'll let you know right now. That's exactly what the coach will say. That's a great play. You did a great play. We just going against a great guy. That's all. That's all. You talk to defensive players, they'll let you know. That's what they will tell you. Hey, at the end of the day, hey, that boy cold. That boy nice. You look at EJ Speed and Zaire Franklin pockets. Hey, that nigga's cold. They let you say, hey, he nice. Even I want to talk shit. He nice.
I mean,
There's
God,
nothing you could like. Come on. If I'm a defensive player, I'm throwing my arms up in the air. All right. Exactly, last son of fiction. Exactly. There's no perfect defense for a perfect. If the motherfucker dropped it on a dime in a bucket on the side of the Empire State Building, on the side of the Titanic, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing.
I need y'all to understand
What?
something. I'm gonna stop in this. I'm gonna stop this real quick, but I need y'all to understand something with that throw. Everybody's talking about AR and his his throw candidate of the year. That 60-yard bomb, the 60-yard
Threw
air.
it off my foot. I
Threw it off his back foot after he slipped. I need y'all to understand that that was a phenomenal throw, but this was a perfect throw. There is no better place he couldn't have put it in a better spot. An inch further, incomplete pass. An inch in, incomplete pass. A PBU. It's either broken up, possibly intercepted. This is the perfect position. I mean, this is the definition of I threw the guy open. I threw him open. That is fans, friends, family, Houston, we got a guy. We got the guy, and we got a group of dudes. We got them boys. We got them people. Be ready. Be ready when Chicago comes to town. Sunday.
Man, y'all better show up and show out if you're going to the game. Don't make them boys feel comfortable in their home. Tell them boys to take their shoes off at the door too.
You shoes, socks. They need to take a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Use the bidet. I don't care. We need to talk. We need to talk that talk. We need to be out there.
Cause you gonna respect my house. You gonna respect my house.
This is wild stuff. All right. I don't know if we want to jump into the play crafting business. We've been on this for an hour and a half. I want to let people go. I don't want to keep them on here for 2 hours. We could talk about that in a short later. I think that would be actually really good for us to do. Record a short and get that play crafting call that we were talking about earlier. But I want to talk about something. I want to. There's some stuff I want to talk about in particular, and I'm going to bring that up real quick. Let me pull this mumbo jumbo up. Couple things I wanted to talk about. One, We kind of said it. Our offense seems slow to start. It is what it is. They were really, our team was slow to start. Defense was a little faster, but the team was slow to start. And I think we see a building on that. And for as much as we talk, so you, me, Leo, VT, all of us in the Texans 22 chat, all of us in the Texans Thoughts chat, all of us in Texans Twitter, wherever you want to be, as much as we want to talk about how Jimmy Ward got burnt and how we let these 3 touchdowns happen, at the end of the day, if you take away those 3 plays, the defense held AR to 6 passes. 6 passes for 6 for 16. And you're taking away 180 yards. 6 for 16 and 30 yards. 32 yards passing. Think about how wild that is. 6 for 16 and 32 yards. 3 plays changed the narrative. 3. We got to talk about that. Like, that's something that I know everybody talks about the PFF scores, but it's 3 plays that changed the narrative. 3.
And 2 of them was on one player?
2 of them was one player. 2 of them was because we disrespected one player. That's what you're looking at for your team. 2 plays was one player. 111 yards off of 2 plays. Come on now. Like, take that away. He's down to 101 yards passing on 7 for 15 or whatever it is. No, 7 for 17. Take away that other Doolin touchdown. 6 for 16 for 40 plus, for 30 to 40 yards. This is what your defense did. This is what you're needing to look at. We also lost a blocked punt. We watched Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson run it in. One after the 50-yard bomb that was to Alec, the second 50-yard bomb, and the one's after the block punt. They had to have everything go right to make it to 27 points. We struggled. We put up our worst front, hopefully, that we see for the year. And we put up 29. Imagine what happens when it all clicks together. Imagine. Tackle play. We talked about tackle play. The guys were rusty. They were off. I think it's going to get better. What do you think, Exo? What do you think on tackle play?
It was out of 1 through 5, one being the best, 5 being the worst. Actually, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. It was like a 3, 2.8, 2.8, 4.8. I give it a 4.1 going towards 3. It was actually some moments of like shitty tackling and where a couple of the drives kind of extended when it didn't need to be. There was some moments where we didn't have that much gap integrity where they was able to spurt a couple of plays out. But it was overall it was a solid game that we needed to sew up a little bit better. But our team played pretty well. Team played pretty well. Like you said, besides three plays, they're having a pretty abysmal game. They're having a pretty abysmal game, to say the least. Just like Retreat Hell said, the block punt also was a swinger in the game. So if they don't get that in the ensuing touchdown over, we having a different ball game. If I do have to play devil's advocate. If I was a Colts fan, I could say the same thing. There were two touchdowns that were taken that weren't on the field because of just slight inaccuracies by AR. If he has better footwork, if he drops it in more in the bucket, Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley has some blemishes week one of how they play the game. And so I do say that we did get saved at certain moments just due to the inexperience and inaccuracies of AR. Shout out to him. But if we take away if you take away two blunders, leaving one big play. If we take away two blunders by Jimmy Ward, this game is different. This game is really, really different.
It's a blowout. It's a 14-point swing. I mean, it is what it is. We ran the ball on them. We had everything on them. We were the better team. I expect better consistency next game. I would like to see more Kalen Bullock. But also, before we're getting to the end here, I want to make sure if y'all have any questions, throw those out in the chat. I want to remind you guys, while you guys are getting any last minute questions out there, that all of our information is down below. You can reach Exo on Twitter at, I believe it's at Exo Intro _, right? And then you can reach me at Moderate Texan, I believe is what it is on Twitter. That's pretty much all I'm on. How else can they reach you, Exo, if the people want to get in contact with you?
Pretty much. I only got a Twitter for right now. Exo Intro _. I'm an open book. Is pretty much just my football account on there. I talk anything ball there, so it's not just particularly with football. Football is one of my biggest passions, and I can talk to you about anything and everything. You just need somebody to chop it up with. Just need a friend, or just need somebody to just bullshit for like a couple of minutes or an hour or so. I'm always there, open there. I don't know how long it'll be there, but just know I'm there for you. Um, uh, Feel free to follow us on our social media accounts. Feel free to also check out Texas 22, H-Town Rundown. Feel free to check out Ruben and the boys. I know Houston Stretching's got some things shaking up. So we got a pretty big, expansive, we got a pretty nice, expansive Texans content community. So feel free to give us some follows, get some great content, and let's talk some ball.
Indeed. Like this here, Mod here, or Last Son of Fiction says Mixon rushing leader in the NFL, Texans top leader with in the NFL with 40 time possession leader with 40 minutes, and then this was close. That's an anomaly. That's not going to happen if we're continuing to play like we played before. Like I also mentioned earlier, all our links for the podcast are also down below in the information down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, this will be up on Spotify most likely tomorrow, as well as YouTube podcasts or YouTube Music and Apple Podcasts as well. One last thing I kind of wanted to bring up is what you kind of brought up here, Ahmad. Mixon's the rushing leader right now in the NFL. I don't know if that continues. Actually, what I really wanted to talk about is who is it? Was it Clint Stoner or who was it? The guy who said that Mixon may be the best running back the Texans have ever had.
The most talented running.
The most talented, yeah. I don't know what anybody is saying, but I'm going to address this right now, and I'm going to look dead into the camera and say this. If ever somebody disrespects number 23, Arian Foster, the Bobby Fino, the phenom on the field, the man that glided across the field like nothing, the Kubiak, the Shanahan, the master of the backs, the guy who led the league in fantasy points and led the league in rushing and receiving yards for 2 straight years. While there was CJ2K, while there was Adrian Peterson, while there were other great backs in the league at the same time in their prime, if ever we decide to disrespect him again, if ever you think about disrespecting him again, don't do that. We're gonna leave that alone for now. That just don't do that. What do we got here? Don't have to go in depth on this. I'm curious. We all watched all 22. I think Hunter was given a crazy run grade 29.7, undeserved. Daniil Hunter. There's a reason I looked for him, but he didn't really stand out in film. Will Anderson stood out for a few plays, but I think the Colts found a way to kind of negate our edges by either doubling them or forcing them further outside or forcing them to do what their job is, set the edge. I mean, we want our edges to go sack the quarterback, but the first job of an edge is to set the edge. I do kind of disagree with his crazy run grade of like whatever low it was, and I can look that up after we get off here. But I think he was just doing his job. He did have a lot of plays though where it was him and like 3 second stringers. It wasn't him and Will Anderson or him with the first stringers a lot because of the rotation. But I mean, this is probably one of the top 3 O-lines we're going to play this year. So take that grade with a grain of salt. I don't think yeah. What do you think about that, Exo?
Think about say that one more time.
I was saying, what do you think? So VT kind of messaged us and said, do we agree with the low run grade that Daniil Hunter got for the like run stopping grade, I guess, that he got for the Colts game?
I get somewhat like I get it based on the overall effect. I gotta rewatch the film to see how many times they ran towards him versus away from him. Then I gotta see how many times did he win at the point of attack on the run play versus winning after like a second move and shit like that. Because I actually don't know what they base that run win rate, pass rush win rate. Like I don't know what they base that off of. And so my overall look in the game is that they didn't really try to run it towards his side, and if he does, they try to, I guess, fold over him. So they're kind of it is quintessential trying to take him out the game. It's a smart game plan. Take one of their biggest game havocers out and try to move the ball away from that zone or area that he's in. Even if they did still run into his side, they had chip help with a tight end tackle. Then they probably did a roll the running back outside of the tight end. So they kind of got him out in that area. So hopefully this game it provides a bigger. Hold on, my bad. Go ahead.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, it was a 29.7. They graded him pretty bad, actually. His total defense grade was 46.7. So I just think they, as you said, kind of made him look. I think this game they schemed him out of the game. This other question from Ahmad here: who do you predict in our wide receiver core takes over in the Bears game? This one's a good question. I would, if this is me, watch out for Joe Mixon, Brevin Jordan, and don't be surprised if Tank Dell seems to be the main man this game. I think teams are going to want to take away Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs. Nobody wants him to score 2 touchdowns a game. That nobody wants that. But Tank Dell can get lost in this. I don't think there's a CB3, a nickel back out there that can hang with him. So, like, who's going to guard him? Your CB2? Who's the CB2 for the Bears? Is just Jalen Johnson that you're going to put on him? That's a mistake because now you're leaving Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins up to somebody else. That's not going to work. I keep a lookout for Tank Dell, Brevin Jordan, and Joe Mixon. I think those would be your 3 biggest players. I think we start to see. I think we start to eliminate that right side of the line by throwing into the blitz, or running into the blitz, or running into that right side. I think it's Sweat who plays on the right. Correct me if I'm wrong. For the Bears, I suspect Titus is going to have a little bit of trouble, and because of that, I suspect that we run that direction. We're not going to run away from him. We're going to run probably in between Shaq and Juice, and just be gone. I'm not sure Schultz plays. He didn't practice all week, I think, until today. I don't know if he practiced at all this week, because I do see this from Retreat here. I do respect some of PFF stuff. They're pretty good at catching some stuff. But yeah, there's some stuff that they're not the end all be all. Definitely not. All right. Let's see. We got any more questions? He did practice today. All right. So we got Schultz in. Cool. I'm not seeing any more questions. We've been going for almost 2 hours now. So I'm gonna call it here. Exo, what you got for the people? What you got going on?
Nothing much. Just make sure y'all keep y'all mentals up. Make sure y'all stay amazing. Anytime you are dark times, just always try to see through the light. Continue being wonderful, great individuals in the world. Continue to try to be a light in people's lives, and then if not, try to be a light within your own life, man. Life is hard, life is crazy, but let's try to fight this battle together, man. Stay brazy.
Indeed. We're back, baby. This is season 3 of the Moderate Texan podcast. You guys know what it is. We got to look into the darkness, find just a little bit of light, and bring it right back to the middle. I'll catch y'all next week. Actually, I won't catch you next week because I will be in Minnesota. So won't be. I'll have to kind of do some shorts for next week, because I will be at that Minnesota game. But I will catch y'all next week. Love every single one of you. H is up, H-Town. Wear white. Be at the stadium early. You know what time it is. Time to swarm.